Welcome back to part 3 of how to make a Roblox game in 2022. Today we're going to be picking up from where we left off in part 2. I'll flash a card to part 2 up in the top right corner. If you haven't watched it already, go and watch it and then come back. But yeah, so resuming on with what we've already started with, I've been going over the last video's code. I've noticed 2 problems, okay? Well, one of them is not really a problem. Only one is a problem. And the other one is more of a redundancy thing. So I'm going to show you guys how to fix these 2 things before we're actually going to get into the main video. Okay, so the first thing is coming up to the top of our code here, the previous code. We have these 4 variables. Now this works fine, but like I said, as a redundancy thing and a cleanliness thing, this is really not the best. The best way to go about this. So what I'm actually going to do is wrap this in a table. Find a new table, local, let's call it configuration. So let's do round configurations equals braces. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in 4 values, the big brackets and the parentheses. And in between that, we're basically just going to copy and paste these. And we're going to put them in between these parentheses, minimum players, and we'll just do is equal to 1. If you've watched my tables video, you'll know exactly what I'm doing here. Actually, this needs to be equal to 2 because we don't want the game to start unless there's 2 players. So sorry about that. Delete that one, and then basically just rinse and repeat for all of these. So I'll just do that really quick. Alright, so now I've finished this. Now you can't tell me that this doesn't look nearly as good as this. Okay, so this looks far better, far cleaner, and far more professional. So yeah, so that's the first thing. Just delete that. And now we have to go through and just change these things a little bit that are referring to this, because I've changed these variables. So now we actually have to do round configurations, and then let's do minimum players there, because it's waiting for that number. It's waiting for the minimum amount of players, which is 2. So just make sure you change that up. And then over here at 4T lobby time, just change that to round configurations, and then we're actually with these square brackets, we're actually indexing what's going on there. So let's get that, and we'll do lobby time, because it's time in the lobby, the amount of time they spend waiting for the game to start. And then let's go down to wherever it basically just has a highlight saying that that's not correct. Let's do round configurations at 4i and to square brackets, and let's get round time. And I think that's all of them so far that we've done. Yeah. So let me just check that. Yeah. Okay. So that works. The last problem that we have is back here in our last video. What we did a script here where it checks if there are any players left. Okay. And after a wee bit of testing with multiple players, a problem that I've run into is that because this is in a for loop, the countdown, every second it counts down from that number, comma 0, comma -1. It is it's failing these first 2 if statements. It's going if this or else if this. But what's actually happening is, instead of doing else if, which is what I actually intended it to, I made the mistake of putting else. So what's happening is the round is actually breaking on the first second. Yeah. So let's just fix this really quick. Let's just do else if. Let's do else if I equals 0, then. Okay, so that's better. So now when the timer ticks down, it's actually waiting for it to tick to 0, and it's just not immediately breaking the script. Okay, so that is these problems out of the way. We need to start on rewarding the winner. Okay, so here it says that we're going to reward them. I'm just going to use a leader stats value, sort of just to show you guys what you can do here. Obviously, other more professional developers will show you more professional stuff in terms of that. But yeah, so let's So let's make a new script because we're going to need a data script to add some leader stats. So let's just add that script and let's just call it leader stats, to be honest. Okay, so here we'll do local players service equals game colon get service players. Alright, so now let's declare a function. Let's just do local function add stats with the parameter of player, so we know what player it's being added to. Okay, so let's do if player, then let's do local leader stats equals instance dot new, and we'll do folder. We want a new folder under the player. Do comma player after that to add it into the player's actual instance, and then after that just do leader stats dot name equals, and we'll just do leader stats. Make sure it's actually written as leader stats, otherwise it isn't going to work. So make sure that part is written as it is. Now we'll do wins. I guess we'll do wins, yeah. Let's do leader stats. No, what am I? Wins equals instance dot new, and now we're going to want an int value, so it can store a number, obviously the amount of wins the player has. And again, let's do the comma, and this time we're going to add it into the actual leader stats folder. After that, do wins dot name equals wins. So this is actually how it's going to appear up in the top corner of the player's screen. And actually, let's do one more. Let's do coins as well. So let's just do local coins equals instance dot new, and we'll do int value again and comma, and let's just add that back into leader stats as well. Okay, and then just do coins dot name equals, and just do coins with a capital C because that's just, it looks better. Alright, so once we've defined our function, you can close it or you don't have to, whatever. And then just do player let's do player added colon connect function, and we'll just get the player that's joined the game. Then let's do just add stats player. So we're just sending that player over there. Okay. Obviously, probably in the next video I'll work on data storing all this stuff, so if you guys really want to see how we can save all that information, things like that, we will do that. But for now, this is just our basic leader stats value, so we can reward the player in our other script. Okay, so let's just click play. Unless I'm a terrible scripter, terrible scripter. Nope. Yep. Look, there it is, up there, wins and coins. So we now have our 2 wins and coins value that we can now give to the winner. So the winner can, flex their wins and their coins to other players because, yeah. So just click stop, close up the script for now. Back here in our main script on line 102 to 5, somewhere there, wherever it is for you, you'll see if players table is equal to 1, so this is where the winner is. We're going to reward them, like I've written that little note there. So to reward the player, basically what we're going to do is we're going to do players table, okay, with the index of 1, because that's the only person left in it, so we're getting the winner, okay. And we're going to do dot leader stats dot wins dot value plus equals 1. We'll just add 1, and then we will do copy and paste this line again. Okay, and now we're going to do wins. Instead of that, we're going to do coins. We've got coins, and this time we're going to do round configuration, like that table we started up the top, and we're going to get the reward. So we're going to reward them the amount of reward that there is. Hold on, where is reward? Main reward, yeah, that's what we defined it as. So now, if we go back up to our table, just so the game will run, let's just make that 1 player, just so we can test. Grass map is loaded, where we're going to be teleported over. And yep, there we go. As you can see, we've had 1 win and 100 coins added to our value. So now the winner can actually have a reason to win. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is probably completely finish the round system so it works and deletes the map, because right now it's still what's happening is it's not destroying the map and loading another random one. It's actually just piling another map on top of it. If I show you in the workspace, see, these maps are beginning to duplicate on top of each other. So let's stop that from happening. So let's jump out of this loop. So at the bottom here, there should be 2 ends and 1 end down the bottom. We want to be in between the second and the last end, these 2 here. Okay, I always used to struggle with watching tutorials and things like that, of knowing which end I'm actually meant to be in. So I'm just trying to save you guys some time with this one. So here we're going to want to destroy the map, and we're going to load all the players back. We're going to like destroy them all back into the back into the map. First, let's do if workspace, and we'll just get let's do random map dot name, then workspace with the index of random map dot name. We're going to destroy that map. We're going to do colon destroy. So yeah, that's going to get rid of the map, and then after that we're going to do for I comma player in pairs, and we're just going to get the player service. Let's just do player service and colon get players, and then do if player then, just double checking because we don't want our script to break. So let's just do if player then, and we'll do player colon load character. So now if we go into the game, what should happen is the round should look like it's sort of resetting, if you know what I mean. Everyone's being loaded and the map is being destroyed, so they don't start to pile on top of each other, which is really not good, especially if it's loading different maps and they clip into each other. So the map is loaded, and we've been teleported. I'm declared the winner because I'm the only person in the game, and the map has been destroyed, and my character has been loaded. Alright, that's perfect. I'm actually going to move these around. I'm actually going to delete the map first. I'm going to load all the characters and then delete the map. So just swap those 2 around, these 2 blocks of code. So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to server storage, and the maps folder I'm going to drag out the grass map actually. Actually, no, I'm just going to duplicate it and bring it into the workspace and rename it to, let's just say, let's call it like Rock Land. Okay. Yeah, it's Rockland. There you go. So let's teleport over to it, and in here we're basically just going to change like the texture of it. It's just so we can tell if there's actually being a new map, a different map being sort of selected every time, so it doesn't look like it's just that one map every single time. So let's go base part, grass map, invisible. I'm assuming it's grass map, and I'll just recolor it to like that. Yeah, that looks not so nice, but that's fine, I guess. We'll go decorations. Let's make these rocks like way bigger, sort of like a, yeah, that's wonderful. Duplicate and like rotate them around, so there's like lots of rocks on Rockland, because that just makes sense, doesn't it? That's probably going to do for Rockland. So now I'm just going to drag Rockland back into maps folder. Oh, and when where it says grass map, I'm actually going to separate those 2 so it looks better when it announces the name of the map. Just because that is it just looks better when it announces it. It has a gap between it. Otherwise, it looks like it's trying to be one word when it's not. Right. So oh yep. See, there you go. There's a gap between it. The Rockland has been loaded. We've spawned on a rock, and we've been given a pistol. I guess these rocks are good because you can sort of hide behind them. As you can see, the rock map has been destroyed, and if we're lucky, we'll get it to load grass map instead, so we can just see that there's like a difference. But again, it's just random every time. It's literally 50-50. Yep, there we go. Grass map has been loaded, and we've been teleported over to grass map. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is actually something a bit more interesting for the developer of the game. I'm actually going to give the developer a special like weapon, like an overpowered gun that only the developer can have. So let's make a new folder under server storage, and we're going to call it special weapons folder. Actually, let's just call it special weapons. And here, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag out one of these guns, like the machine gun. I'm going to duplicate it, drag it into there, into special weapons. But instead, we're going to go into this machine gun. I'm going to rename it to developer gun. And inside the gun, we're just going to go into, I believe it's the weapon system. Actually, no. We're gonna look for configuration, ammo capacity, and I'm just gonna give myself like, 4,500 bullets. Just tack some zeros on. Hit damage and make it like 100. No, we'll make it. Let's make my hit damage 55. So you can only survive 2 shots. No, 1 shot. Max spread. Let's do 0. And just tinker around with this, make like the gun as OP as you want it to be, or whatever. So once you've got your developer gun, we're going to go back up to our script, our main script, and we're going to define that as well. So let's do local special weapons folder equals server storage, and we're going to just do wait for child, and let's get special weapons. Okay. So now we have that weapons folder ready to go. We can get that, and the next thing I'm going to do is actually declare one more table. Okay, this table is going to hold some other information. I'm just going to call it other configurations. Equals again braces because it's a table, and we're just going to do. This time I'm going to do developer user ID. Okay, so I'm getting my user ID equals, and now to get our user ID, I'm actually going to go out of Studio here, and we are going to go to my profile and get my user ID. Alright, okay. So we're here on my profile. So how we can get our user ID is if you come up to the URL at the top, where next to the lock icon, generally, if you have a good connection, you'll see these bunch of numbers between these slashes. So let's get that. Let's copy and paste that number. Okay. Let's do Control C. Okay. And let's cut back into Studio. And if we Control V that into there, add a brace after that, a semicolon. We now have the developer ID, so we can check if the person that is in the game is the correct person to receive the developer weapon. So let's cut back down to where the weapon is being added to the player. Okay, so here where it says else, underneath this if, you see if player, somewhere on line 70, it should be for you. It should be under there. We want a couple lines down. Let's do if player dot user ID is equal to other configurations, and let's index developer user ID. So we're getting that user ID. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do local dev weapon equals, let's just check with that special folder. Yep, let's do special weapons folder. Probably just going to index it. Actually index that at developer gun. Sorry, I made a quick mistake there, just fixing that. Click play as we expected it to, and yep, so as you can see, I've been given the developer gun, which is really overpowered. But yeah, I'm probably going to leave this tutorial here. If you guys like overwhelmingly in the comments say please do data store tutorial, obviously like leave a like and subscribe if you like this video and stuff. But yeah. Oh, also quickly, Also, don't forget to make your minimum players set back to 2, because otherwise the game is going to run when there's only one person and they're going to win an infinite amount of time. With the code, maybe join my Discord server. Get scripting help there, because it's a scripting server that I made, and we actually ticked over 500 members recently, so thank you all so very much for that. But yeah. Anyways, that's about it for today's video. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you next time.